Hey everybody, welcome to Hump Day Hangouts. This is episode 161. Today is the 6th of December. So first one in December. We're rolling towards the end of the year, but not quite there. And speaking of closer to the end of the year, we're going to have a pretty awesome Hump Day Hangout coming up later in December, but stay tuned for that. We'll tell you more about that coming. But real quick, we want to go down and say hi to everybody and see how everyone's doing. So Chris, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Hernan, how about yourself?
Good. It's actually quite warm right now in Buenos Aires, and yeah, I'm excited for what's coming. We had a lot of stuff coming. Oh, what? Are you cold?
No, not at all. No, I'm perfectly warm.
Right. Okay.
Hey, Marco, how's it going?
Well, the doctor took a look at my MRI today and said, "Holy shit, those are not words that you want to hear when a fucking doctor's taking a look at your MRI of your fucking back, dude." So that's how I'm doing.
All right, fair enough. Bradley, how about you, man?
I went to a doctor once with an ear infection and it hurt like a son of a bitch. And the doctor put the thing in the ear like to look at it, and he goes, "Whoa!" And I was just like, "Doc, you're not supposed to do that." Like, I've never seen an eardrum look like that.
Like, well, make it not look like that.
Yeah, no wonder it hurts, right? Anyways, great guys. Today's been a really good day, really productive day. Got a shit ton of stuff done. So I'm just excited to be here and answer some questions and hang out.
Cool. Well, before we get into it, I got a couple quick announcements. I'm going to post some stuff on the page. If you've never come to Hump Day Hangouts, first of all, thank you very much for being here. It's awesome, and we love having more people join us. We got some good stuff for you, some resources. I'm going to post on the page for you. And if you were around over the Thanksgiving time period and for Black Friday, then you saw the emails and you saw the page we had, and you know that Syndication Academy is increasing in price, and it's like going to be like a 50% jump. It's something we've been putting off for a long time, and this is kind of the last announcement that it's happening, and the price is going up to $97 a month here shortly in 7 days. And so we want to give everyone fair notice. We're, nice reminder here before that happens. And you can get that for free if you join the mastermind. All right, we want to remind people about that. That's one of the many perks of being a mastermind member. Something else we wanted to talk about, obviously there's been ongoing updates with RYS Reloaded. There's been a ton of new content, stuff going on there. And I'll let Marco talk about this.
Yeah, we have in fact, a new webinar coming up on Monday. We're calling it Multi-Location Domination with Automation.
Wow.
So, yes, sir. We're going there. We got, in fact, 2 scripts that we're rolling out to make things easier, just to allow people to make it as simple as possible to go and take over not only their local niche, right, the local area, but surrounding areas and just take shit down city by city. That's how we do it. That's what we're teaching. We're also going to show how it's done globally, by the way, because we're in the lab taking a look at that. And as a matter of fact, when we roll out the multi-location domination webinar, we're going to raise the price on RYS Reload. The price is going up. I don't know how much. I always push as much as possible, as much as you guys will allow. But price is going up. I suggest if you're on the fence, it's time to get in where you fit in, or get left behind. We're going to teach people how to take over. It's really that simple.
Nice. Yeah, it'll be going up. We'll have some more information coming out about that, you guys, if you're watching. So if you're curious, also, I'm going to post the links, obviously. If you've been thinking like, oh, I've heard about RYS and it's neat and maybe I should do that. One, you should. It's awesome. And if not that, then you should be checking out the done-for-you services if you're more the outsourcing type. But if you've been thinking about getting in, now would be obviously a great time. So before we start answering questions, I think, Bradley, you had something you wanted to share with people, right?
A couple things. Number one, go to bradleybenner.com, subscribe to my YouTube channel and also my daily mindset updates. I just posted another video just a few minutes ago, like literally 15 minutes ago, that I recorded today, kind of impromptu. I wasn't planning on it, but I had something that I wanted to share, so I recorded a 20-minute video. I just posted it in Facebook as well as my YouTube channel. Rolling through those emails every single day, consistently every single day now. It takes me anywhere between 30 to 60 minutes to write an email every day. But I'm developing that habit, and it's been, I can see it's like, I think today I wrote email number 20, and I can see the results already. Like, it's already improving my ability to write and convey thoughts better. In other words, like it's a habit worth developing. I put it off for years, and finally I'm developing the habit with intention, and it's working well. Like, for example, I had a bunch of VSLs, video sales letter stuff that I had to record today, and I had some scripts to write for some remarketing videos and stuff. Typically a remarketing or a VSL script would take me, or a video script would take me hours to write, but I was able to bang out 3 of them in about an hour's time today. And I attribute that to my habit of writing that I've started to develop. So I encourage you guys to do something similar, even if it's journaling, whatever. I'm just using the email list as a as my vehicle, right? So I would encourage you to go check it out, because I basically talk about some pretty cool stuff as far as like goal setting and mindset and that kind of thing. Anyways, that said, I do want to tease one thing rather quickly, because we're gonna talk about this at the beginning part of next week's Hump Day Hangouts briefly, maybe 10 minutes or so. I'm gonna cover this a little bit more in depth, but today I just kind of want to tease you guys with it. Oh, and also check this out. I got my Semantic Mastery Mastermind shirt on. Thank you, Adam, for sending it.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I meant to drop this down a little bit. There you go. How's that?
There you go.
Nice.
One other thing I just wanted to tease very quickly is, guys, the prospecting funnel stuff that I've been working on developing for a few months. I had to put it on hold for a bit while I worked on some other stuff, but last 2 weeks I've really been working on it hard again, and have improved the process quite a bit, and the results are fucking astounding. Like, I don't know how else to say it other than that. I'm just going to give you guys a very quick sneak peek of this, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit more next week. I'm not going to go into details, guys. This is more conceptual, because this is going to be shared. This is being shared in the mastermind. We are starting a new mastermind educational track in January 2018, where we're going to be basically building 2 businesses throughout the year, like from soup to nuts, start to finish. And one is a physical business, like a brick and mortar type business. It's a gym. And then the other one, obviously the emphasis is on the digital marketing, but it's going to be more than just digital marketing, right? It's going to be traditional marketing, as well as like setting up businesses and setting up a business, entity structuring, all that kind of stuff, because I think that's important. As marketing consultants, we should know about this stuff anyways, right? And number 2, the second business, I was going to do 2 local businesses, but I made an executive decision last week to make our local agency that we're building right now as the second project that we're going to highlight and cover as part of the mastermind training next year. So all of this is going to be revealed in very fine detail starting in January. In fact, I've already started sharing a lot of this agency building stuff, which is an automated, scalable agency, the way that I should have built mine originally, but you can't know what you don't know, right? And so I've already started sharing a lot of that in the mastermind, but I'm just teasing you guys with this to encourage you to come join the mastermind, especially if you're doing local, because the results are indisputable as far as like how well this is working on the prospecting side of things. Still working on the sales side, the fulfillment side, all of that's coming, but the prospecting side is working. So enough teasing. Let me just show you very quickly. I'm going to grab the screen, guys. I'm not going to put this up for long, but I want to show you something. So this is an image of the prospecting funnel. I told you I'm not going to put it up for long, so I'm about to switch screens. Take a screenshot fast. All right. Moving on. That's the prospecting funnel. And take a look at this, for example. This is I'm using drip.com as our autoresponder for all contractors that are being put into this funnel, this prospecting funnel. So these are only people that have taken action. And you can see that, like, I mean, I know it's probably small on your end. Let me zoom in just a little bit, guys. But if we look at just yesterday, added at 12/5, right? So December 5th. We scroll down, we had 10 new contacts added just yesterday alone. Those are inbound leads, guys. You guys see that? And if we take a look at, let me pull over here for just a moment. This is our Pipedrive account. This is what we're using for like our sales pipeline. It's called Pipedrive. It's awesome. And you can see that when I had shared a little bit of information about this a few weeks ago, I had run 125 emails through the system, 25 emails a day for 5 days. And we had 13 inbound leads from that, which is a 10% response rate. And since that time, I've increased the outbound emails to 75 per day. It's been about 6 days. So we've had about another 150 emails go out, and look, we're up to 48 leads now. We had 12, so we've added 36 more leads out of 150 emails, guys. That's almost a 20%. That's almost a 20% response rate. It's absolutely incredible what we're getting through here. And again, I just wanted to point that out because I'm really hoping that many of you guys that are thinking about, you know, joining the mastermind, or if you're doing any sort of local, I would highly encourage you to come join us starting in January. Well, now's a good time too, by the way, but because I'm going to be literally dissecting exactly how that's built step by step throughout the year, so that by the end of the year, you could build your own automated agency if you so choose, or you can wait until we can build it for you and you can pay us and we'll build it for you. And that's coming too, but that probably won't be for at least another year. So anyways, with that said, I'm going to move on. If you guys have any questions about that specifically, come join the mastermind. I'll be happy to answer them. All right. You guys got any comments on that before I move on?
I do. I'm pumped. I think this is awesome. It's such a cool process because it pulls in just a ton of stuff. I won't go into it, but just, yeah, I love it. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, me too, man.
Just for anyone who's new, right, and watching this, those are people who got emails and contacted us back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so that it's no longer just a cold email going out, and hopefully you'll be able to find someone. It's people contacting us and saying, we're interested, tell me more, which is, I mean, that's just awesome. So now you have a pool of people to contact. So for anyone that's new, that's what's going on. We go really in depth in, as you said, in the mastermind. The mastermind is the place to be in 2018. If you're not there, you should be.
Totally agree. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Marco. All right. Enough of that. Let's get into some questions. We got several, and I'm excited. Let's get into it. Mel, she's up. She says, I'm sending video emails and it's getting some traction, but when they ask for price, I'm having some trouble. What kind of points do you try to convey when they ask, how much does it cost? I swear this question was asked last week. I swear this was, anyways, how much does it cost? Well, Mel, if that's the first question out of a prospect's mouth, they're probably not going to be a good client. I've experienced that many times. Those are price conscious people, and I understand we all are price conscious to a degree, but the problem with people that come right out of the gate with how much does it cost is it's because they have already made assumptions, right? And all they're looking at, they look at marketing as an expense, not an investment. And it's very hard to satisfy any client that thinks of marketing as an expense instead of an investment. Marketing should create an ROI. And if it creates a return on investment, then it's an investment. It's an ROI. Investment is right in that title. You know what I mean? So when they come right out of the gate with thinking of it as an expense and asking how much does it cost, then even if you were to land them as a client, you're probably going to have difficulty with them. They're never going to be satisfied. They're always going to be questioning what's going on because they're penny pinching, right? And because they're, so again, Mel, I just want to explain that that's a red flag for me over the years. After doing this so many years, that's a red flag for me. So I would recommend that, you know, when it comes down to that, I try to avoid pricing stuff up front until after I've had a chance to talk with them and analyze like a particular property. That said, sometimes, you know, you have to tell them up front, like, you know, what it is, and you're going to lose them. Like a lot of the times you're going to lose them, but don't undercut your services just to try to land clients. I get how important it is, especially when you're starting out or you're trying to build an agency, because I've done it, guys. Like I have taken any client on that was willing to give me money, regardless of my gut feeling. We've all talked about this. All of my partners, all of us at Semantic Mastery have had similar experiences. I'm looking forward to hearing some comments about this again in just a moment. But my point is, every time, you know, I've done it as well, where many times over the years where I've said, okay, you know, it's money, I'm going to take it, and I've had a bad gut feeling, and then it ends up being a nightmare. It requires so much additional work, so much hand holding, so much convincing that what I'm doing is valuable, that it's just not worth it. You're better off just prospecting more clients until you find those that don't put up as much resistance or that understand that it's an investment that should produce a return on investment, that, you know, should produce a return instead of an expense. So again, when it comes down to somebody says, how much does it cost? typically that's, you know, if you want to just answer them, get them out of your life, like, thank you very much. That's what Bill Good and Hot Prospects says. He says it all in one word. No spaces between them. Thank you very much. Click, like, hang up. You know what I mean? And I don't mean be a prick about it. I just mean, like, you know, give them the price and let them say, oh, nope, that's too much. And let them hang up on you then. That's fine. Don't take it personal. Move on. Prospect like what I just showed you over here. Fill your pipeline full of prospects and you won't have to worry about that. Does that make sense? Now, I know you're doing video emails, and I know that's a much slower process. And that's why I recommend that with the video emails, you keep them very short, because you don't want to spend. Here's the thing, Mel. When I get a client referral and I do a video email with an analysis of their properties and stuff, sometimes those go 20, 25 minutes long. I'm not kidding. But that's because it was a client referral. So there's a much better chance of me landing that client anyways. It's a high quality lead because it was a client referral. But when I'm doing cold prospecting and I'm sending video emails, which I don't really do so much anymore because it's so time consuming, I like the shotgun approach better because you can scale it. But with, you know, with starting out, that rifle approach of doing video emails is very effective. But I would try to keep your initial video, your outreach video, down to like 5 minutes or less so that you can bang out several of them within an hour and get them out. Because again, it's a numbers game. You might get out of sending 10, you might get, you know, 3. My consistent numbers were 3 or 4 responses out of every 10 emails that I sent. And out of every 3 or 4 responses, I would typically get 1 client, sometimes 2. And so again, that's what I recommend, that you try to keep it down, keep it short. Otherwise, you end up, you know, with 15 or 20-minute videos for every potential client, cold email that you send. And that's just way too much work. What are your comments, guys?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Bradley, in terms of the quality of the clients that you're getting. And, you know, it's funny because I was on Franker, one of the masterminds, call like 5 minutes before the Hangout. And one thing he said really resonated with me. And he was saying it's way easier to increase the quality of the clients that you get than to try to re-educate them into why your stuff that you're doing is worth it. So right. In other words, instead of trying to re-educate themselves on why they will need to take your marketing serious, and why they're doing an investment, and why they should be doing this and should be doing that, that puts you in a perspective of, well, I need now to educate them into why my stuff is valuable, right? The perfect client, which is something that you need to come up with. There's nothing that, you know, you need to come up with what's your perfect type of client, which sometimes, like I would say 9 times out of 10, we don't do. We just go and try to find as many clients as possible. And that puts you in the position of getting the worst type of clients on earth, pretty much, right? So number 1, ask yourself what your perfect type of client is. And number 2, try to find those clients in a way that they already understand that marketing is an investment. That, you know, Bradley will tell you, yeah, go after the AdWords guys. Go after the guys that they're already advertising because they already know, or go after the guys that are doing SEO that you can actually pinpoint that they're doing SEO, or they have their maps already set up. Maybe not perfect, but they understand the value that AdWords can bring to their business, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I think it's way easier and way more rewarding, and you will end up working with better clients. Getting better quality and try to enhance your process of getting clients to get better quality clients, then try to, you know, turn someone's minds over, which is nearly impossible, and it will wear you out. You know what I'm saying? So that will be my comment on it.
All right, I'll play devil's advocate real quick, and not disagreeing, actually, just offering the counterpoint. And I would say that also you got to do your homework on this one. I've seen people go in and try to just sell like videos. Let's say they are selling video rankings or something like that. And they go in and they get to the money part and they don't know what their potential client's cost is or what their business model really is. And then it becomes really hard for people to talk because they don't understand, or they go in with a completely wrong offer. So make sure you do your homework and find out how much is a lead worth to this person. You don't have to know down to the dollar, but you know, do you know the market? Do you know how much it's worth? Is a lead worth $5 or $50? You know, figuring that out, and then you can at least talk intelligently to the right people. So,
yeah, and to expand on what Adam said, if you understand the market, right? So your potential customer base, which will be like, you know, local businesses of whatever kind. So in my case, like contractors, tree service contractors, right? Let's just use that as an example. I understand about how much a good tree service lead is worth to a contractor, right? Because I understand from being in that industry, like what a qualified lead can produce for a contractor as far as revenue. And so that said, you can frame or steer the conversation into let me show you how, instead of how much does it cost, let me show you what it can produce. Does that make sense? Because then you're taking the cost equation, you're taking cost out of the equation, right? The focus isn't on the cost, the focus is on the return. And that when you reframe their question in that light or in that manner, then they start to see the return on investment potential. But as Hernan said, I 100% agree with him. If you have to first convince somebody as to why your service is valuable or important, then before you then have to sell it to them, then you're doing twice as much work, because first you have to convince, then you have to sell. And so I avoid that. If you feel like you're catching resistance where you're trying to convince them, then let them go. Thank you very much. Click. Right? Thank you very much. Click. Get the hell out of my life. Next. Like SW, 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 SW. Some will, some won't. Some will, some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. Right? And that's really what it comes down to. So just fill your pipeline with quality leads. Know your market. Know the potential, what a lead is worth, so that you can steer the conversation towards a return on investment versus cost, price. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm reading this just a touch differently, and I don't disagree with either you or Hernan, but I'm more inclined to go with Adam. If she's having trouble understanding how to price her services, I mean, that's a bit different, and that's just understanding the market and what a lead's worth. I mean, if a lead is worth $2,000 to that person, and you can produce, then you should be concentrating on what what you're going to do, right? Which is you get paid for what you produce rather than getting paid for something nebulous that the client doesn't understand. Right. I'm going to affect your bottom line positively. That's what I'm going to do for you. And as long as you take that approach, you understand the market, you understand the client, you understand what a lead is worth, then you won't have trouble pricing yourself and your services. That's how I'm seeing this question.
Yeah, and last thing, and this is a great question, by the way, Mel. So I'm going to +1 at number 1. And sorry we spent so much time on this, guys, but that's a fantastic question. What happened? It didn't +1. All right. The last thing I would say about that, Mel, is you can always have a foot in the door product or service that you can provide, even for free, right? And I don't recommend, guys, don't work for free for often, but you can have a foot in the door offer, some sort of product or service that you provide for free to prove yourself to a potential client, to a prospect, right? That works really well. Like I do that, right? Like I'll talk to a potential client and I'll say, look, let's talk about pricing. If that comes up, then I'll say, let me just prove to you that I'm capable of producing some results, and then we'll talk about that. This is what I'm going to do. And so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll do some sort of video marketing campaign so I can get them some quick wins that they can see by going to search results and seeing videos ranked for various keywords, various locations, whatever. And I'll just do a quick, it might take me 30 minutes to set up a video campaign and blast it out using some spam tools or whatever, get them ranked for a few keywords. And then I just show them the results and say, look, this is what I was able to do in, a few days. And then imagine what I could do if you hired me for this or that. And does that make sense? So you can give them something for free just to whet their appetite, so to speak. And then you can upsell them into or sell them into an actual service at that point, because you've given them results in advance. So again, video marketing is fantastic for that, because it's something that you can get done very, very quickly. You can get results quickly. It's almost tangible, right? They can see the results. And because of that, you can oftentimes upsell. That's why I use video primarily as my opening product or service. Okay. Again, great question, Mel. All right, Sigba's up. He says, or Shibga, I'm sorry if I butchered that. My potential client is located in the midst of a bunch of small counties. Since I'm only doing maps, he won't be showing up in counties even just 10 miles from him. The competitors currently up there are getting traffic from difficult keywords organically, and that is not something I want to do. What would you suggest? Thank you. Well,
if I may,
go ahead.
He's in RYS Academy Reloaded, and that's Monday's webinar, dude.
Perfect. There you go. As far as everybody else that's not an RYS, my suggestion in that case would be, well, I'm going to give you number one, AdWords, right? You can do that rather quickly, and you can just set up geo-targeting. So it's very, very easy to get them to start generating traffic for all the different areas that way. Plus, if you've got a Google My Business, right, that you use the location extension for your AdWords ad, and you can actually have your maps, your Google Maps, your Google My Business Maps listing show up in Maps, right? And in the actual Maps. And now I'm starting to see the Maps listing, the first listing in the 3-pack is now an ad for a lot of queries. Like that's been kind of been rolling out slowly, but I'm starting to see that appear more and more, and even in various industries now where there's an actual 4-pack instead of a 3-pack because the first listing is an ad. And that's something that you can absolutely do. All you need is a location extension, which means you need a Google My Business listings verified, and then you can use the location extension in AdWords. Okay, so that's number one. Number two would be to rank organically. I don't see a lot of value in that for local lead gen type stuff. I've got kind of mixed results on that, but you know, that's all you can do short of setting up like PO boxes in all the various areas, which can be kind of a pain in the ass. And then you've got a ton of Google My Business listings to optimize, a bunch of citations, all that kind of stuff to do. So, you know, it's really up to you. I would do what Mark is talking about with RYS stuff. He's doing multi-location training on Monday, but I would also consider AdWords and go after some organic stuff unless you're willing and capable of setting up a bunch of Google My Business profiles, you know, listings for various locations using PO boxes or something. Okay. Eliza says, hey guys, have you heard of AMP? If so, what are your thoughts on it? Marco, I'll let you talk on that since you developed the plugin.
Yeah, we have an AMP plugin. All you have to do is go to the Facebook group, AMP Creators Mastermind in Facebook, and join and download the plugin. You know, it's working for news more than anything else. That's where AMP really helps. It speeds up the page. You know, since a very light version of the page is served up through AMP. I think as Google goes more into mobile, it will have a greater weight. It'll become more important. Right now, it hasn't had the impact that it should have had, but that's because if you're not producing news, the accelerated mobile page experience isn't really necessary. Your website is fast enough as it is, or should be fast enough as it is, right? So, I mean, that's just my take on it. We do have the plugin, so you can experiment with it and see whether it works for you, whether it has any effect in your niche. We haven't seen any effects, as a matter of fact, with AMP on anything local, unless you produce news, something that's newsworthy that Google's going to pick up.
Yeah. And I don't have much of a comment on it because I haven't really played with it much. So, all right. Quit This House says, good day. I want to write blog posts, create a video of each blog with Content Samurai, then syndicate the video, take that link of video, embed it in the blog, then syndicate the blog. Any issues? P.S. Get better soon, Marco. No, that's fine. In fact, I've talked about this in Mastermind and Masterclass when we used to have a Masterclass as well. But one of the strategies that I've used with some of my contractors, the ones that are willing to do it, which is a great strategy, is their technicians, you know, basically give instructions to their technicians. Let's say it's plumbers. And that's one of the industries that I've done this for, is a plumbing company. And they had, I think, 6 employees or technicians, you know, 6 plumbers that were out there working with vans and all that kind of stuff. And they just go out on job site and take their phone, iPhone, Android, whatever, and record a very short video from the jobs that they go out on. Just say, hey, this is Joe from Joe's Plumbing. We're out on location in Fairfax, Virginia. We got a call for a water heater that needed replaced. And this is what I found. And he takes his phone and shows where the water heater was. And the heating element went bad. We basically replaced the water heater, and now this customer has hot water again, and they're happy. If you have any water heater problems in Fairfax, Virginia, contact us at, and then call to action, right? Very, very simple, like a 60-second video, 60 to 90 seconds, sometimes even less. And then they send me the video file, and then I upload it to YouTube. I send it to a transcription service, have it transcribed. Then I go post that video with the transcription on the blog, which then syndicates out across the syndication network. And it gives me the ability to optimize the YouTube video and rank that for keywords like water heater repair, Fairfax, Virginia, for example, and as well as the blog post, which adds additional content to the site that's 100% relevant. It's 100% unique user create 100% created, unique created content. Does that make sense? It's a very, very good strategy because it's something that you don't even have to do. To me, it's very simple to just, they send me the video, I upload it to YouTube, optimize the video, send that to rev.com to get transcribed, get the transcription back within usually a couple of hours. And then I can post that as the actual post content, which it's keyword rich. It's got the call to action. It ends up going into silos. So I interlink that up to the silo heading. And then that goes out across the syndication network, which in turn helps to boost the overall site. Very, very, very powerful strategy. So I don't see anything wrong with that at all. I would encourage you to do it. Test with it and see. I haven't done it specifically talking about what you're talking about here, but I can't imagine why that would be any different. It's a good strategy. Check it out. Mohammed, what's up, Mohammed? He's here every week asking questions and being very engaged. That's awesome. We're glad to have you, buddy. He says, hey, guys, how would you sell map embeds to somebody? You don't, Mohammed. You wouldn't sell map embeds to somebody unless it's an SEO or somebody that understands it. My first reaction would be don't even try to explain. I mean, like, some people are inquisitive and you can try to explain it in a way, but a lot of the times, like, when you start talking about that kind of stuff with prospects, their eyes glass over because they really don't understand it anyways. And so I try to avoid that, like, technical kind of stuff with most clients if possible. But anyways, I never really thought of a map ranking as something to include in SEO agreements. Is it something you guys would include? Yeah, I mean, when I'm selling SEO services, I typically am, for the most part, I'm selling maps ranking, right? Local SEO maps ranking for the most part. But I don't particularly tell them all the different things that I'm doing to get them ranked. You know, I not stuff like map embeds, because they wouldn't understand that. Like, for the most part, I might tell them, I'm going to produce content. I'm going to optimize your listing, your photos. We're going to create corresponding content on your website. You know, we're going to do some link building stuff and syndicate content out across your social media properties to get you some exposure and traffic, all that kind of stuff. But I don't talk about map embeds and that kind of stuff. What do you guys think about that?
No, I totally agree. Don't ever sell rankings, dude. Mohammed, you cannot control rankings. If you can't control rankings, then you cannot sell what you can't be sure that you're going to do. I mean, you can be really good at it, but then run into a stubborn niche or a stubborn sub niche where you just can't rank a map, and you just sold the client on ranking a map. So now what are you going to do? So don't sell results. Guys, everyone in this, when you're out there and you're selling your services, you're going to produce results. What those results are, that's up to you. It's not up to the client to decide what the results are. The results will be reflected in the bottom line through visitors to the website, through leads, and closed leads, and all of that. How you go about it, that's what they're hiring you for. You're the expert. So approach it that way. Don't ever sell rankings, ever.
Yeah, I would only comment that, you know, I actually do often sell rankings. You know, what I do is I say, look, I don't work for Google, so Google can change its algorithm at any time. They're constantly adjusting their algorithm, so things change. But the trend is, the idea, the goal is to get you ranked in the maps. Like, that's what I say when I'm talking to a prospect, right? And I say, and this is what I know works, and I'm going to do this. So I don't sell them rankings, but I tell them that they can expect to see some movement, and we're likely going to get, like, the goal, the end goal. What my intention is to get them ranked in maps. But what I'm selling are the services that have shown to prove that as the end result. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like I don't say or guarantee rankings. I don't, because I'm not, if I'm going to guarantee rankings, I'm going to own the asset. It's going to be a lead gen thing, right? And then because I'm not guaranteeing it to anybody but me. But I don't guarantee rankings to clients, unless, like, for example, I got, a video production company that I do a lot of wholesale SEO for. I basically don't guarantee rankings, but I tell them if we're not ranked on page 1, then you just don't pay for it. Does that make sense? So that's what I do. I don't guarantee rankings, but I tell them they don't pay unless they're ranked. So keep moving. We got 2 more questions from him, so we're going to try to roll through these. I know we're running short on time today already. For sales practice and some extra money, I'm trying to sell syndication networks to bloggers and YouTubers. How would I best approach this? I've bought BB's recommended book on cold email and used his practices, but I must be doing something wrong because I haven't seen much interest. All right, so a couple things, Mohammed. My thoughts on trying to contact and sell to bloggers and YouTubers is that they're in the marketing space, so to speak, or they're in the digital space. Maybe not marketing, but they're in the whole digital space, and they're probably kind of numb, or I'm trying to think of the right word here, but they're probably used to just ignoring pitch type stuff, especially probably a lot of YouTubers, because I know our YouTube channels, we've got a few, our Semantic Mastery channel, as well as my own channel. We got a lot of subscribers, and I get pitched shit all day long, all the time. We get spam emails from people trying to sell us on YouTube services, stuff all the time. And so they're probably just ignoring a lot of that. They're numb to it, so to speak. But, and bloggers are very similar, because bloggers get pitched all the time on guest posts and link swaps and link exchanges and, all that kind of stuff as well. So it could just be that. I don't know, because I haven't really pitched to those kind of people. But the other thing would be maybe, and I'm not sure about cold emailing those. I would have to think about it. And obviously, Mohammed, I would recommend that you just test different. You're going to have to split test your different cold email approaches. What I'm doing for contractors is working incredibly well, but I don't know that that method would work for YouTubers and bloggers. I would just try different types of cold outreach emails until you found one that seems to work well, and then repeat that, scale that, right? And so it's going to require some split testing on your part. It's a lot of work. I know it's a lot of trial and error, but once you find something that works, like what I've found with the contractor prospecting that I'm doing, then you can scale it and you can just see massive results. Okay. As far as when I started selling networks, when I first built, started outsourcing that, and I trained some virtual assistants, and I started selling networks. I sold them retail to local businesses, and then I sold them wholesale to SEO agencies. And what I did was I just went to the various marketplaces, like SEO Mojo was one of them, SEO Clerks was another one of them, and I just put up listings for networks, to sell syndication networks. And that's how I ended up landing a lot of SEO agency clients, was through those service sites, by selling networks. And then I would, sell it for I believe I was selling networks at the time for $297 or $299 or around $300 for a single network. But for agencies, I had an agency from Australia contact me, and he wanted 10 per month, 10 syndication networks per month. And so at the time, I wouldn't do it now. Well, I actually probably would do it now still, but I ended up selling those networks at $100 a piece to him. So he'd pay me $1,000 a month. I'd sell him. Have my team would build him 10 networks, and my networks cost me about $50 to build. So I would literally pocket about $500 to not really do a damn thing, which was awesome. So, you may want to consider doing that too, putting your service up on some of these sites. All right. Last is, how would you explain the benefits of PR in layman's term to a client? Exposure, brand building, and traffic. That's it, right? You don't sell the SEO part of it. You can mention that it should have an SEO benefit. It should help them to it likely or often will help them to rank better. But what you want to sell is the exposure, the brand building, and the traffic that it will produce. Those are the things you want to talk about, the benefits, not the features, right? So essentially you want to tell them what are the end results that a press release can provide. That's traffic, authority, and brand building. and exposure, right? Massive exposure. All right. Anybody else? Any comment on that? All right, we're gonna keep moving.
Yeah,
Eddie.
no, I was about to say that. Yeah, I agree with you, Bradley, in terms of, you know, business owners, they all care about how many new clients, how many new leads they can get. You know, they like usually they don't care about rankings or positions or whatever, like keywords and all of that jazz. If you talk about in business terms, like again, this is an investment. You know, I like the different, you know, the comparison between assets and liabilities, you know, but the way Robert Kiyosaki does it, right? So for example, you would have money that you throw away every week, pretty much. So you buy stuff, you go to Starbucks, you go out to dinner, whatever, you buy clothes. That's money that goes out and never comes back, right? Assets, and the way millionaires think, is that they invest their money into stuff like real estate or stocks or whatever that will put more money into their pockets, right? So that's how they're thinking on. Well, you can do kind of the same, because you can say, this is a service that will put more money to your pocket because it will increase the visibility of your website, the traffic, and ultimately, if the website converts, the leads, right? So if you think about it, you're investing the money. That we always backtrack to the investment versus the spending side of things. So that's how I usually frame it, and it works.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks. All right. So the next one is Eddie Brim. Eddie, I read this question ahead of time, and I'm not sure how you're going to get viewers to your videos. I understand you're saying that you're starting a niche topic-based YouTube channel. I plan to add a lot of other people's popular videos to my channel. So the question I would have for you, Eddie, is if you're just adding other people's popular videos to like playlists, because that's really the only way you can do it. And right, you can't really add their videos to your channel unless you download their videos and then upload to your channel, which is against terms of service, right? I'm not saying you can't do that, hint, hint, but I am telling you that it's against terms of service, and you may get a copyright claim or something like that from one of those people if you are to download and re-upload onto your channel. So keep that in mind. However, you can put other people's videos into your own playlists, and there's some benefit for doing that. The only problem with the next part of your question is you say the goal is to gain viewers that I can retarget with ads. Unless the video is on your channel, like it's your video uploaded to your channel, then even if you have other people's popular videos in playlists and somebody were to click through from your playlist to that other person's video, you won't be able to retarget them because you won't get a remarketing cookie from somebody clicking onto their video. Does that make sense? As far as I know, you can't, and again, I may be mistaken here, but I don't think you can set up a remarketing list for videos within a playlist. Like, I think it's only for individual videos or a channel, which in that case, you could retarget them if they land on your channel, right? So I'd have to go in and look at AdWords to see, like, and I'm not going to do that right now. Obviously, we're running short on time anyways, but I'm going to be doing a lot of AdWords stuff starting in January with the new mastermind training curriculum. The first month or the first module is all about PPC, pay-per-click, and YouTube is going to be included in that. So it's something that I will probably have, soon. I'll know for sure. But I know that you can retarget people that interact with any videos on your channel. I don't know if that also includes other people's videos that you've embedded or added to playlists from your channel or not. I don't know. I can't confirm that. Can anybody else confirm that? Yeah,
no, I think that it's the exact same thing that you're saying, Bradley. Like, you need to own the asset in order for Google to count the cookie towards your, towards your remarketing list. What I would say, Eddie, is see why these videos are so popular. Try to emulate them, right? Try to do the same title, keywords, etc., and then try to rank them on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because that will put you, like, for example, on Semantic Mastery channel and on my own channel, and I'm pretty sure that Bradley's channel too, 20% of the videos bring 80% of the views. Like, it's that big, it's that skewed, right? You will have, I don't know, I probably have a couple hundred videos. Semantic Mastery has, at this point, thousands of videos, but only a small fraction of those videos will, for some reason, will get, not for some reason, but because they're really targeting really high volume keywords on YouTube, right? they're targeting really high volume keywords, and they're getting shared, they're getting a lot of comments, so YouTube will increase the view count, right? And that will trickle down into the rest of the channel. But here's the thing. You want to try to emulate these popular videos and put, record your own version, curate them, whatever, and try to rank them on YouTube so that you can own the asset. Once you have that, again, you need to create a bunch of videos so that 20% of the videos will get 80% of the traffic. And once you have that, then you can start retargeting those people with ads. You can also do pay-per-view, right? You can drive views via AdWords to a video, and that's something that you can do as long as you own the video.
Right.
But you can do it with third-party videos, but there's absolutely zero sense on spending money, right, to do that. But the point here is that you need to you own the video, and but that's a numbers game. Like the pay-per-view needs to be lower than the retargeting cost, and that's usually not the case, right? So you're paying more per view than the ROI that you're getting when you're retargeting these people. So have that in mind. Like the best way to go, in my opinion, will be to get a lot of organic traffic from YouTube, rank your videos on YouTube so that you can get a lot of organic traffic and then go to town retargeting.
Yeah, and by the way, there are ways to kind of siphon some authority off of those videos that are really popular or getting a shit ton of views. Eddie, the way that you do that is scrape the tags from the videos that are ranking really well or that are getting a lot of views, right? The really popular videos. Scrape the tags. There are tools that can do that. You can also right click and view page source and get like the first 2 or 3 tags. But there are tools that will scrape tags for you. So scrape the tags, use those same tags in your video, as well as the channel name of the channel that has the popular video, and put that video into a playlist that you from your channel alongside of your other videos. So in other words, when you go to optimize your own video targeting the same type of keywords as the popular videos that you want to siphon some authority from, you want to scrape the tags from that popular video, place it into your video. You also want to scrape the channel name or add the channel name as a tag in your video. And then you also want to create a playlist with that popular video next to your video. And what happens is a lot of the times, it's not 100% of the time, and I don't know what the threshold, like what the circumstances are to make it work sometimes and not others. But what I've seen a lot of that when you do that is your video will end up popping on the end screen of a video when they show related videos, like that, like checkerboard, of related videos. Your video will pop into there, as well as in the right-hand sidebar on the watch page of the related, the right-hand sidebar where they show related videos. You'll end up popping into there, and you'll end up getting a lot of referral traffic from just because you're in the related videos section, if that makes sense. And that's a great way to siphon authority off of other people's videos. Okay. Good question, though, Eddie. Jonathan says, I purchased Cinch Tweet from Mastery PR, and this tool works like crazy. Awesome. That's great to hear. Do you have a similar tool for LinkedIn? I don't know, Jonathan. I don't even know what Cinch Tweet is. I just know that I know we did a promo for it for Mastery PR, but I'm not a tweet guy or Twitter guy, so I haven't played with that at all, and I don't know of one for LinkedIn. Sorry.
Yeah, Jonathan, what you could do is probably hop into the group if you're not already a part of the Semantic Mastery or our free Facebook group, and ask in there, because I think Chris has been at least playing around with it. So that'd be the place to ask.
Yeah. All right, Ralph's new. He says, hey, guys, I'm a rookie when it comes to SEO for a site. I have a client in the Minneapolis area. He used to rank on page 1 for his key phrase. Something changed a couple years ago, and now he's back on page 3, if even that. I just took over his site trying to get him back on page 1. His company specializes in 3 areas. Okay. The way the site seems to be set up, they are trying to shoot for all 3 targets on the front page at once. Yeah, that's pretty common, actually. Should I redo the title, description, and H1 tags to shoot for keyword 1 and put keyword 2 and 3 on other pages? I've tried using video to get them on page 1. That doesn't seem to work. Okay. Yeah, Ralph, I would absolutely recommend that. I don't typically try to rank the homepage, guys. I mean, it happens, and there's ways that you can force the homepage to rank. But a lot of, if I usually optimize for, like, again, for contractors, if they have, separate services. I always like to try to optimize a specific service page for basically one primary service, right? And so I have separate pages for each one of those. In your case, it would be a separate page for keyword 1, one for keyword 2, and one for keyword 3. Because what happens is each one of those pages can be highly optimized for that particular keyword, that service, right? In that location. And it's likely that you can end up ranking that as long as there's not other like domain health issues, Ralph. But assuming that everything else is fine, I would recommend that you would target specifically each keyword or service with its own page, and then optimize it for that. But then what you do is obviously just internally link from each one of those pages up to the home page, right? So in Maps, you're usually going to rank the home page in Maps. Not always the case, but usually. But then like for organic, you would end up ranking the individual pages based upon the keyword search query, right?
I have a question. Sorry to stop you while you're going through this, but do we still have a backdoor to SEO Bootcamp?
I think we do.
Because I mean, I was just going through that over the weekend.
It's amazing.
And I couldn't stop. I went and I was lying down in bed and just listening. And I went through, I forget how many videos I went through, just listening. The guy's amazing on his keyword research and how to set this up, Ralph. I mean, it everything that you're looking for on how to set this up, how to target the keyword, whether it's a category, whether it's a top of the silo, whether it's supporting LSI and whatever. This is covered in there. And I have yet to see anyone who covers on-page SEO as thoroughly as what's covered in SEO Bootcamp.
Yeah, dude, he's badass, man. I don't know if it's I think the $500 price is now doubled. Unfortunately, I think it's at $1,000 now, but it's worth it even at $1,000. I'm not kidding, Ralph. It's fantastic. It really is that good. So if somebody didn't already drop the link, it's semanticmastery.com/SEO bootcamp, I believe. That'll take you over to it if you want to check it out. I'm not sure if that's the link or not. If not, if somebody's
I'm looking for it right now just to confirm.
But yeah, that's what I would suggest, Ralph, is obviously optimize a separate page for each one of those, and then you can link from those pages up to your home page. That would be the better route to go than trying to be, if you're trying to cover too many topics on one page and they're not closely related enough, then you dilute the optimization of any one of the keywords, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, we're almost out of time, guys. Unfortunately, we didn't get, well, I guess we got to most of them. All right, so next question. Hi, we are selling a new sweetener on our blog ecomm site. Bloggers started to create recipes with it on their blogs, which is awesome. Now I started to create blog posts with those recipes by cloning them on our blog inside my recipes silo, and these posts are then syndicated to a syndication network too. I'm doing this for obvious reasons, easy content creation for me and additional publicity for them. Question, will this trigger any kind of duplicate content issues for me or not? No, it won't. Because you're, well, first of all, just make sure that you are attributing, as long as you're citing the source. Okay, it won't create any content issues for you anyways, regardless. Okay, period. But to do it legally and properly, the way that you should do it, ethically as well, right, is you make sure that you are giving attribution to the source where you got those recipes. Always cite the source. Give credit where credit is due. That's not going to cause you any issues if you don't, as far as like SEO issues, but it can cause, you can get like DMCA complaints, which are, you know, the basically people copyright infringement complaints. And if one of those bloggers decided that you were infringing upon their intellectual property and they decide to do a DMCA complaint, then they, you know, Google can de-index that page or post. And that's a bad sign for you, and it's a bad sign for the domain. So I would recommend that you just, you know, you are always linking back to the source. You can no follow the links. That's what I do. No follow them, but make sure that you link back to the source and give them the credit where it's due. Okay. Question 2, is it enough to cite their blog on the bottom of my clone recipe without, no, I would always link back to it. Always. If you're worried about passing juice, no follow the link. Okay. With a link back to it, cite their blog at the bottom of my clone, or should I also link back to their original post? Yeah, always link back to the original source of the content that you're curating. That's essentially what you're doing. You're curating content, which is perfectly legit. That's how most of the content is produced for all of my blogs, right? And client blogs and lead gen sites and all that is through curation. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that you cite the source. By the way, when you're curating content, guys, sometimes you're still going to get people that are pissed off about it, which is dumb in my opinion. But sometimes you know, because like you are providing them a link, potential exposure, potential traffic, but you know, you're giving credit where it's due. But I still have gotten some cease and desist, you know, takedown notices type stuff from curating. It happens from time to time. It's just part of the game. So just don't, you know, don't freak out when it happens. All right, asking this because they all link to different pages on my site in their recipes. So this would be some sort of reciprocal linking, I guess, which I heard is not good. No, it's fine. That's in that case, in this particular circumstance, that's absolutely fine because it's not like you're trying to game for SEO. You guys are just kind of cross promoting because it makes sense. It's relevant. It's not an SEO thing, right? I mean, it provides SEO value, but the intent is not strictly for SEO. Does that make sense? So reciprocal linking was something that was like a no-no years ago. I don't know if it's still considered a no-no in Google's eyes because there is a lot of cross-linking between and co-citation and things like that now. So, you know, like I'm talking about like old directories, guys. A lot of web directories would they would only publish your link if you put a widget in the footer that linked to their directory. Those are reciprocal links that are frowned upon. But like two bloggers cross-promoting each other's posts, that's not really, I don't work for Google, so I don't know, but I can tell you like it's logical for that to not be a reciprocal link penalty type thing. Any comments on that, guys?
Yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of reciprocity, like reciprocal link lately, so I wouldn't, I don't have data, like recent data, you know, back it up, so.
All right, we're almost out of time. Fortunately, we got through almost all the questions. Harold asks, hey guys, what's up? Quick question. Should I get an RYS Stack, a syndication network, or both? Well, my go-to answer is going to be both. Of course, Harold. No, and I mean that for real. You know, I always start with syndication networks is always like standard operating procedure. But as soon as that gets built, I order the RYS Drive Stack as well. But it is really standard operating procedure. So I would say yes to both. Any comments, guys?
No, absolutely. Set up your syndication network, prime it, just like we teach in Syndication Academy. Once that's done, get that RYS stack going and link to everything in T1. I mean, it's really that simple, and you can power everything up through link building through your Drive Stack, which will protect your T1 and your money site.
Yep. All right, Dan says, hey, gents, what is your suggestion for best source to have citations done? SERP space, of course, Dan. Duh. Dan, I'm giving you a hard time, but yeah, SERP space. You can go in there, like, if you're looking for the Cadillac of, you know, like the Ferrari of citations, you're going to spend more money, but they're fabulous. They're done very, very well. I would say Loganix. They've got some really good packages. Semanticmastery.com/Loganix, Loganix. But for new sites, typically, I'll just go with what we have in SERP space and just order the big citation directory sites, which is like the national type sites. And then I try to go with the hyperlocal type citations, which are a lot more like niche specific or local specific type directories. So those are always like standard operating procedure. I usually start right off the bat with new sites with about anywhere between like 40 to 60 citations, which is about 20 or so of the big national directories, like the big heavy hitters, Yelp and Angie's List, Yellow Pages, that kind of stuff. And then we try to find, we scrape citation or directory sites that are either niche specific or more localized, and then build all additional citations there. Also, don't forget, Dan, to order citations or aggregate listing submissions like New Star Local Ease. What are the other ones? Info USA. Several of those. The other one is Factual is one, and the other one's Axiom. So those are all really good because you get listed in those, and about 3 to 6 months later, you'll have citations in a ton of different directories because other directories scrape or pull data from those and create listings for you. So that's more of a long-term thing, but you want to do that right up front because in about 6 months, you'll start seeing a whole bunch of new citations start popping up and you didn't even have to build them or create them. All right, last question. I know we're right at the 5 o'clock mark. Is Cinch Twitter good for tier 1? Can it be used on the Twitter attached to RYS Stack. Honestly, I have no response for that because I don't even know what cinch tweet does. So anybody else have an answer for that?
No,
Nope.
I don't.
Good one to hop in the group probably and ask there.
All right. We're done, guys. Oh, wow. Everybody else bailed out. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We'll see everybody else next week, I guess, because we don't have any other webinars this week, do we?
Don't think so.
Okay, sweet. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.